I'm in Idaho on my way to the historic ghost town of Bayhorse. It was the best ghost town I could find online that looked like it was the most untouched. I'm a little bit concerned because there's one of these signs that lead me to it. I thought it was a little bit more hidden and unknown, but I guess not. We'll just see when we get there. But regardless, I mean, the drive here is just phenomenal, and that alone is worth it. So yeah, I'm here at Bayhorse. It's definitely a preserved ghost town. It is abandoned. I mean, they haven't fixed it up or anything, which is cool. But there's an awful lot of rules. There's states, parks, and recreation truck here. I don't know. We're gonna take a look around, see what we can do. So a little history about Bayhorse. It was a mining town. Bayhorse was a mine, and like most mining towns, people came and went pretty quickly. There was a lot of turnaround because when word spread about a discovery in another place, everybody would go there. But there were a lot of people from a lot of different countries coming here, seeking out their new opportunities. So in 1880, there were about 75 residences in Bayhorse. Just a year later, they had 300, and by 1882, they had some businesses, a saloon, and it was a thriving little town. Um, by 1889, there were a series of misfortunes, and one of them being a fire. And, the place went through some hard times for the next 10 years until they finally discovered more silver veins here. So the park ranger left. Um, so I thought maybe I should go inside a building, and it's amazing. I think it's really going to be a tough decision whether or not it's a good idea to come here to shoot. But it's just so cool. So this building is interesting because it's believed that it was built by some men with the last name of Salisbury, who acquired Wells Fargo Company, and it's believed that possibly this building is a prototype of Wells Fargo's buildings, and was used to store bullion. So obviously this mining building is the most dominant feature here at Bayhorse, and it uses the old style of building on the side of the hill to take advantage of gravity, and the rocks would start at the top, get crushed, and basically be sifted out at the bottom. Apparently none of the equipment inside is the original because ownership changed hands down the road and they changed methods. But I mean, I wouldn't know if I didn't read it on the plaque. So apparently, I mean, everybody knows that mining was really difficult, and this was no different. They worked really hard, these guys. A lot of them died from just injury or getting sick. The altitude was tough. Some of them even committed suicide probably because they didn't find what they were looking for. But apparently they partied just as hard as they worked, and there were lots of different saloons here. So, you know, they worked hard, but they also had a good time when they could. It was built in 1879, but they didn't keep it in operation that long until 1897 because costs were too high. It used an immense amount of charcoal, and transportation just wasn't practical. If they had a good rail system, apparently they could have doubled production and probably would have kept the smelters running. So I talked to the park ranger, and there's really no hope of me doing a photo shoot here. You know, I'd have to go down and ask for permission, and she doesn't know of anybody that's ever been allowed to go inside the buildings. She informed me that there's another building way up here on this mountain, and technically I can drive all the way to it, but she didn't recommend that I do. And for some reason, she was just really nice, and I would feel bad trying to trick her and trying to do a whole photo shoot here. I don't know. It just, and the fences kind of ruin the whole motif, like in the little signs and plaques. You know, it doesn't quite do it for me, although it's a really cool location. I'm glad I came.